For me, it's the possibility that it will be the one I marry. Alaskan Bush People fans are accustomed to the turbulent lifestyle of the Brown family. However, everyone was taken aback by Noah Brown's most recent disclosure. An honest update regarding his wife was the last thing anyone expected from Noah. The tidy image that people are accustomed to seeing was not at all what he claimed. Reality TV is more than just what you see on television. Let's investigate the nature of this fresh knowledge. What is Noah Brown? When I go fishing, my major strategy is to move swiftly. Millions of people are familiar with Noah Shannon Brown because he appeared on the Discovery Channel reality show Alaskan Bush People. Noah was often in the news since he was one of the 7 Brown children. He described his family's peculiar lifestyle. His journey from a young child living off the grid in Alaska to becoming a TV star and creator wasn't an easy one. The day of his birth was July 18, 1992. Noah was born into one of the most well-known families in American history. Amy Brown and William Bryan Brown are parents to 5 kids. They made the decision to raise their children in the Alaskan wilderness, away from the people and things that are typical of contemporary life. Bear, Gabe, Rain Brown, Matt, Bam Bam, and Snowbird are brothers. They have been living what they refer to as a bush lifestyle for decades, using their abilities and the resources at their disposal to survive. People were only interested in their TV show because of that. Noah's life was anything but typical, according to most people. Instead of attending traditional schools, he and his siblings received their education from their parents at home. In addition to their academic courses, they acquired practical survival skills. They received instruction on how to hunt, fish, construct shelters, and perform any other tasks necessary to survive in Alaska. The Brown family grew close to one another as a result of their isolated environment. Together, they traveled and collaborated on numerous projects. Noah's early years were influenced by these early experiences in the Alaskan forests. It ultimately altered his adult life and his approach to working with Alaskan Bush people. Instead, they will employ the practical method they learnt while spending years in the environment. It was Alaskan Bush People that introduced Noah to television. In 2014, it debuted on the Discovery Channel. The Brown family's everyday difficulties to make ends meet in remote Alaska were depicted in the show. Noah immediately gained popularity among fans due to his intelligence and curiosity for topics uncommon in contemporary culture. He enjoyed coming up with new concepts. He was fascinating to watch on the show because of this aspect of his personality. Over the course of the episode, viewers have witnessed Noah's transformation from a little boy to a young man. His experience on the show, where he frequently works on various mechanical projects, has demonstrated his passion for engineering and ideas. Making things that would make his family's lives easier took up the most of his time. These incidents demonstrated his ability to come up with original solutions to problems in the real world. During his time on television, Noah came across as a considerate individual who was capable of handling difficult situations. Compared to some of his more gregarious brothers, Noah was more reserved and reflective. Fans of the show referred to him as the genius at one point due to his personality. He frequently used mechanical expertise and innovative thinking to help the family survive. In Alaskan Bush People, Noah does more than merely appear on camera as a family member. He was quite helpful on many of the family's endeavors because of his proficiency with technology. His imaginative intellect gave their survival efforts purpose. He worked on a variety of mechanical devices throughout the series, ranging from basic tools to increasingly intricate machines. Noah's ability to come up with original solutions to challenges is one of his strongest traits on the show. Noah consistently demonstrated his aptitude for engineering and innovation, whether he was constructing buildings, repairing tools, or devising novel approaches to fishing and hunting. He centered his persona on the mental difficulties of jungle living, demonstrating to others that survival requires more than simply physical might. Noah's contribution behind the scenes was significant. He served as the grudging bridge connecting modern amenities with the traditional way of living in the forest. Although he may have had an impact, he was nonetheless embroiled in the same controversies as his family and others. Conflicts. Many people were curious about the couple's future and his health after seeing a split video. When Noah Brown wasn't on the Discovery Channel program Alaskan Bush People with the Wilderness Family, a few things happened in his life that led to difficulty. The most significant ones are the continual disputes and legal battles his family has been involved in. The positive portrayal on TV was a far cry from the reality these incidents created. There have been serious family issues involving restraining orders and drug accusations, as well as questions about how realistic the show is. Their family became one of the most watched reality TV families on the Discovery Channel as a result of these issues. The Discovery Channel in particular has been accused Alaskan Bush People for allegedly deceiving its audience. Many of the scenes were allegedly staged, fabricated, or meticulously arranged by the producers. The way the show depicted the Browns' existence has been the subject of numerous surprising comments from the local media and former team members. They have claimed that parts of the film were fabricated to add excitement. While the film was being filmed, locals claimed to have seen the Browns living in hotels rather than the woods. Neighbors reported seeing the family arrive and depart Icy Strait Lodge late at night. Some even said that every boy had an own room. They acted as though they were living alone in the desert, but that was untrue. It was a far cry from the central theme of the show, which was about a family that lived entirely off the grid. People began to question whether Noah's wilderness image was authentic as a result. Did any of it hold water? Or did he want to portray himself as a creative character? When Alaska state troopers claimed that a dramatic scenario from the show in which gunshots were allegedly heard close to the family's land was untrue, the argument grew more heated. No one connected to the Alaskan Bush People had reported hearing any gunfire. A gunshot is the quietest sound there is. Unless a silencer was employed, those in the vicinity of the shooting site could not have heard anything. This supported, in part, the theory that the series was a fabrication. Many people are uncertain whether Noah's survival skills and creative endeavors were authentic or merely produced for television because of these additional details. There are other legal issues with Noah's family that go beyond the show's authenticity. Billy Brown was charged with 60 counts of first-degree larceny and lying under oath in 2015. Together with his wife Amy and 4 of their children. The Brown family was in serious legal problems as a result. According to the allegations, the Browns claimed to have resided in Alaska between 2011 and 2013, but they did not fulfill the requirements for residency in the state. Despite Noah's exclusion from the charges, the incident damaged the family's reputation as a whole. It tarnished Brown's reputation. Because of the severe judicial issues, Billy and Joshua Brown eventually acknowledged lying on their applications for Alaska's permanent fund dividend. Their TV characters appeared to be authentic, land-based Alaskans as a result of this story. They were caught lying about where they were staying, it turned out. One of the most concerning things about Noah Brown is the recent arguments he has had with his family, particularly with his sister Rain. Noah and Rain requested a restraining order against Rain in August 2024. They leveled grave charges against her, indicating that there was discord in the family. According to Noah, Rain was acting dangerously and misusing narcotics. He explained to the judge that his concern for his family's safety was the reason he filed the complaint. However, the court denied the request for a protection order. They lacked sufficient specific evidence to support their claims. The family disputes continue to worsen. Noah made some really negative remarks about his sister Rain and mother Amy in April 2025. To check on his mother and sister, Noah dialed the police. He said that both of them were hooked on meth and that his mother's condition was deteriorating as a result of her living with Rain. These allegations were made only a few days prior to Rain's arrest on counts of criminal trespassing, theft, and malicious mischief. In that, she didn't look good. Rain appeared to have done some odd things following Noah's assertions. In addition to criticizing Noah's personal issues and lack of honesty, fans also disparaged his wealth and public persona. Noah was receiving a lot of negative criticism by the end of 2023 from people who believed he was lying about his finances. When it was revealed that he owned other properties, including a tool store, an island, and a house in Colorado, fans questioned his claims that he was broke. His reputation was further damaged by providing misleading information about his finances with the viewers. The family was being accused of stealing, which was a terrible enough situation. The controversies exposed numerous issues with the public perception of the Brown family and their private lives. This gave the impression that, like other aspects of the show, Noah's portrayal as a struggling inventor in the woods might have been made up. I was first impressed by an off-grid family, but I began to question if they were truly dedicated to the lifestyle they promoted. Due to legal issues, family disputes over severe drug usage claims, contrived TV scenes, and concerns about their financial integrity, the show was ultimately terminated. Their viewers had a difficult time because of these problems. Noah was embroiled in family disputes, it came out, particularly when he accused his sister and mother of drug use. This was not at all like the family they professed to be. There is often always criticism of reality shows, particularly those that feature entire families. The issue of whether anything is real is a constant. But these issues become more than reality show banter when they become so severe that they result in several lawsuits or claims. Life in general. The personal life of Noah Brown, particularly his connections and family life, has piqued the interest of those who are interested in Alaskan Bush People. It's possible that he was raised in the woods and came from a household that valued independence. However, his collaboration was founded on contemporary concepts. His former relationships are unclear, and there isn't much information about them online. However, one received some attention, and its conclusion was unexpected. Rain Alicia has been Noah Brown's most well-known and significant relationship. She married him and had his children, even if she might not have realized it at the time. While Noah and his family were with his mother, Amy, throughout her cancer treatment in 2016, Noah got to know Rain. This meeting happened during one of the Brown family's most trying moments. They had to temporarily leave their forest life to seek medical attention for Amy, who had a serious illness that could have been fatal. The U.S. state of Oregon is where Rain Alicia was born. Unlike Noah, who was raised alone, she hailed from a totally different family. Growing up in Alaska's wilderness, Noah had little to no contact with the outside world. Rain, meanwhile, was from a more typical American household. She led a fairly tranquil life before meeting Noah. Before they began dating, not much is known about her family, career, or schooling. Since it is a love story, the original wording has not been altered. Love brought Noah to a position where his family's opinions were irrelevant, despite the fact that they met in an odd way. He first persuaded her to fly out to visit Browntown by sending her love notes. It appeared to be a scene from a romantic film. These letters let her get to know him better before she decided to meet him face to face. Noah demonstrated throughout their correspondence that he was a thoughtful, deliberate individual who would stop at nothing to express his love for his lover. His recklessness on the show was a far cry from this. In August 2018, Noah and Rain tied the knot after 2 years of courtship. This was made possible by Noah's efforts. He was very joyful. After being recognized as a part of the Brown family, Noah was eager to begin a family of his own. The couple didn't wait long to start a family, telling People magazine at the time of their wedding, "We are so excited to start our new life together as husband and wife, and we look forward to building new memories as our own family." The couple's inability to keep their hands off one another was evident to all. It wasn't unexpected. Just a few months after their marriage, on February 26, 2019, their first son, Elijah Connor Brown, was born. After Elijah was born, Noah underwent a transformation. He was no longer the child from his family's TV program. He was now married and had a child. It made him a more complex human being. They welcomed their second kid in October 2021. The four-member family was now content. In the early years of their marriage, Noah and Rain appeared to have struck a healthy balance between their public persona and their family time. Rain seems to have blended in nicely with her partner's lifestyle. Although she occasionally appeared on Alaskan Bush People, she made an effort to make her public life more private than that of her relatives. They were living the life of their dreams. The people who slack off are those who live in a world where Noah and Rain can pursue their interests. Even though I'm 12, I have the strength of a 28-year-old. Over time, Noah and Rain began to distance themselves from Billy Brown's family life. They were slow to notice. In contrast to Noah's childhood in the desert, the couple's lifestyle was different. Because they had to alter their way of life, the Brown family faced significant difficulties. Nobody believed he would abandon his family when he got married. This demonstrated that his priorities had shifted previous to his parents and brothers being the first and most significant individuals in his life. Ultimately, it became his wife Ree's opening number. In response to issues that many adult children in close-knit families encounter, the couple decided to build their own house. As a result, Noah had to balance caring for his wife and children with staying loyal to his original family. Over time, the strain grew stronger. Heaven is having problems. In this odd movie, two celebrities, Noah and Renee Brown, split up. The most significant incident in Noah Brown's personal life occurred in January 2025. Rain and Noah announced their separation after 6 years of marriage. The pair broke the news to one another in a depressing TikTok video. It took Noah some time to adjust to the separation plan, but he finally replied, "We just wanted you to hear this from us instead of someone else. Rain and I have decided it is in our best interest to separate." According to reports, he was doing well in the guest house that belonged to his family and was only sometimes in contact with his children. It sounded like they were co-parenting strictly because Noah said, "I can stop by if I message first to make sure it's okay if I see them." It also indicated that the split was most likely not amicable. There was no public disclosure of the circumstances surrounding their breakup. The period of time they spent apart is particularly significant because Noah's divorce occurred shortly after he made unsuccessful attempts to obtain protection orders against his sister Rain and his allegations of drug abuse in his family. His marriage might have been strained as a result of these arguments with his relatives. Doesn't it make sense? The Brown family was dealing with a lot of court issues. Someone with a strong heart would be able to endure the highs and lows of being near them. Noah's two young boys, Elijah and Adam, were impacted by the separation. After their parents divorced, the boys struggled. During a split, the children are always the ones that suffer the most. How could someone explain the permanent dissolution of their forever family? To keep things civil for the benefit of their children, the couple most likely decided to publicize their separation. After growing up in the woods as a boy, Noah got married and is currently a separated co-parent. This demonstrates that no phase of life is permanent. Maintaining relationships when you're in the spotlight is difficult. Dealing with family issues while still in the spotlight is even more difficult. Despite their breakup, his relationship with Rain Alicia was his one chance to establish a typical family life following his unusual upbringing. One may question how he and his ex-wife are getting along these days. Since they had children together, they maintain their friendship, and Noah avoids making his ex appear terrible when they are together in public. They may still care about and respect one another despite their past marriage. Despite the failure of his marriage, one aspect of his life remained constant: his household. Let's discover more about the Browns. The Browns. The Brown family would introduce you to some of the most fascinating members of the Discovery family. They are bush people from Alaska. For over a decade, people were captivated by this family's purportedly off-grid lifestyle. They attracted a lot of attention, allowing the rest of the world to examine them in detail. Moving, personal deaths, legal issues, and disputes about what was genuine and what wasn't on their show are just a few of the things they've experienced from being unknown to becoming well-known on television. The Brown clan's chief is Big Blue Brown. He passed away in 2021, having been born in 1952. He was credited with coming up with the original concept for the show. Taking a unique stance on survival and family life established the scene for the show and piqued curiosity. His wife, Amy Brown, was born in 1963. As the leader of the household, she and Billy maintained order. She battled and defeated lung cancer. However, the illness altered the course of events for both the family and the show. The house they had been residing in had to be abandoned. Her family resided in a purported $2 million Beverly Hills mansion while she received medical attention. $7 million. When folks mentioned that they were trying to enjoy life in the country, this was one of the topics they brought up. The family had a difficult year in 2017 because the cancer meant that if their mother died, significant changes would occur. Amy and Billy had 7 children: Matt, Bam Bam, Bear, Gabe, Noah, Snowbird, and Rain. Each of them has a distinct style and personality, as one could anticipate. They appeared to have grown up alone based on the plot of their reality program. They received homeschooling and acquired survival skills. Each child contributed their own small drama to the program and helped out around the house. Although their time on the show came to an end, these individuals are now pursuing their goals. In 1982, Matt Brown was born. He assists the family in the woods and is the eldest. In order to construct things and survive, he assumed leadership positions in initiatives. The stress and public attention might have caused him to have some reservations. He struggled with excessive drinking and mental health issues. At the moment, Matt is not close to the show or the majority of his family. He earns a living by working on a farm and lives alone in Loomis, Washington. He reportedly disagreed with his father, but they reconciled after Billy fell ill. In 1984, Brown was born. It was him who resolved family issues. When the family's machines appeared to be malfunctioning, they summoned him. He was often in charge of operating the machinery and doing the heavy construction labor. He was indispensable to the family's construction efforts since he was so helpful. They are now united after getting married. Alice and Leanne is their name. Additionally, he has taken a hiatus from the show to focus on shooting. Since he hasn't made headlines since, it's safe to assume that he liked it that way. In 1987, Solomon Bear Brown was born. Because of how erratic and insane he was, as well as the outrageous things he did, he became the most recognizable character on the show. He gained his own following because of his unique attitude. It makes natural that he received increased screen time in most shows since he became a fan favorite. He has 3 children with Raven Adams, whom he is currently married to. He refers to them as his wolf pack. Gabriel Brown was born in 1989 at this time. He happens to be the most composed of the 7 siblings. He appeared to have the greatest heart as well. He had an excellent sense of music and a tender heart. He was artistically inclined. It improved the balance of the show's very physical elements. He was married to Raquel Rose, his longtime girlfriend. Together, they had a girl named Sophia. Working in construction, Gabe makes a concerted effort to provide for his family and avoid the spotlight. The intelligent one is Noah Brown. He is extremely intelligent and has received a lot of recognition for his contributions to mechanical devices and technical solutions to issues that arise in the wild. Immediately behind him is Amoria Snowbird Brown. 1994 was her birth year. She added a feminine touch to the raucous situation. She loved the outdoors and wanted to be near animals. She helped the family get through each day and was quietly strong. Although she continues the family legacy, she now has a greater interest in caring for animals. For their final child, Billy and Amy did even more strange things. I hope you have an amazing Christmas. In 2002, she was born. She grew up in front of the camera because she was the youngest member of the Brown family. The transformation of the character from child to young adult was a major plot point in the show. She has always had a creative mentality because she grew up on a movie set. As she aged, she becomes more and more removed from the spotlight and celebrity. The offspring of Brown are still alive and developing. Their lives demonstrate how celebrity may cause obstacles. May be less beneficial than beneficial. They began their journey on Alaskan Bush People in 2014. When the show debuted on the Discovery Channel, it sparked curiosity. It gave viewers a candid peek at a family that depends solely on their abilities and ingenuity to survive in remote Alaska. Living off the grid and living in a survivalist society were popular topics when the show initially aired. Americans took solace in observing a family that had given up all contemporary pleasures as the economy deteriorated and more people relocated to urban areas. The Browns were portrayed as the epitome of the self-sufficient American family. They went hunting and constructed a house. For pleasure, they made things and went fishing. It was not as simple as it seems. The show ran for 14 years, with 114 episodes. In 2022, it ended, and At the time, the program rose to prominence as one of the station's most watched reality shows. The popularity of the show led to a few spin-offs and specials. They performed so well that the media and people took notice. They relished the publicity, but when it became too serious, things began to spiral out of control. When Amy received a cancer diagnosis and had to drastically alter their way of life, the Brown family's purported commitment to living in the Alaskan wilderness was put to the test. The UCLA Medical Center was just a short drive from their new residence. The purpose of purchasing the residence was to facilitate Amy's cancer treatments. When they moved from isolated cabins in Alaska to upscale Beverly Hills, the allegations worsened. Following Amy's recovery, her family relocated to Washington State and took up residence on a farm spanning 435 acres in the North Cascade Mountains. Giving aside their Alaskan heritage, which had made them famous on television, allowed them to continue shooting while being near hospitals and other contemporary amenities. Instead of the media being willing to do anything for their mother, they initially saw lies. The world they desired for themselves did not align with the narrative they witnessed. In the Alaskan bush, people have long doubted the authenticity of the Brown family's lifestyle. Critics claimed that because of their inconsistent conduct, look, and living circumstances, they thought their time in the woods was more contrived than it actually was. The Brown family allegedly utilized it as a set and didn't reside there. On occasion, when the show was filming, the Browns would sleep on the outside of Browntown. They operated out of the Icy Strait Lodge, a nearby motel in Hoonah, Alaska, while things were going well. Some claimed it was a contrived or phony reality TV show, while others claimed it was a real one. The family received criticism for more than simply their acting. Some even questioned whether they had truly led the solitary life they claimed to have. The Browns' claim of self-sufficiency was contradicted by proof indicating they had access to resources and contemporary amenities. The family experienced legal issues as well. Billy and Bam Bam were sentenced to 30 days in jail for lying on their application to the state of Alaska about their residence in order to receive permanent fund income payments. Their reputation was further damaged by this legal issue, which caused others to question their claim to reside in Alaska. No one was able to forget about the Browns even after the show concluded. They raised the standard for reality TV, particularly for programs that were shot outdoors in inclement weather that was too harsh for the average person to endure. Not everything with the Browns was positive. They were not very good at telling the truth. They did not collaborate as a family. Some band members stopped communicating with one another, and they got into fights that lasted for months. However, it didn't alter the fact that the Browns presented themselves to the world in the most effective manner possible. That is what matters most. How do you feel about the peculiar family that Noah Brown has? Use the box below to share your thoughts. Remember to like and share this video, and follow this station to see more. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.